Good afternoon, everyone. This is Father Philip. Guess you probably knew that part, but happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone. That's why well, I guess I'm not wearing green. Uh, yeah, I guess with the video thing, I can't pretend that I am. So anyway, oh well, it's blue for Scotland because everyone really should be Scottish. So, well, welcome. This is the thought is I'm going to be doing these daily. It's kind of a little update on what's going on, probably some sort of spiritual reflection, and apologize at first. These will probably be a little rough, kind of like watching Norwegian television or something like that. But hopefully, I'll get a little bit better at it. But for the time being, you'll probably hear a lot of ums and me looking awkwardly down at my notes and all that sort of stuff. So bear with me, and I'll try to keep them somewhat brief. Uh, so that's the main things. What I want to do in this is just, like I said, kind of keep you up to date, and then we'll have some spiritual reflections and stuff like that, and hopefully it doesn't turn into talk radio, sports talk radio or something where we end up debating who the greatest place kicker is from Central Iowa or something like that. But anyway, so here are the updates of the day. You've probably all got the letter from Bishop Miller. So yeah, we're closed. Church is closed. Sunday, Wednesday, any day, it's closed. Meetings are done. So trying to figure out how we're going to be a church when we can't actually gather as the church. That's going to be the issue going forward, and hope to make that work. But obviously, if there's things you are thinking of that could be beneficial, please let me know, and we'll try to integrate that. As far as watching worship on TV, because, well, I'll leave it at that. We'll try to do some live streams of worship. The diocese is going to take that over on Sundays, so there'll be some sort of Episcopal equivalent of a mega church Sunday something that we'll be doing. I'll update you more on that. You'll be able to, I guess, live stream, which you go on your computer and you'll watch it live. We may do a little bit of that. We'll see. Right now, this is about as advanced technologically as I am at this point. So that's what you got there. Sorry, looking down at my notes. And yeah, so and then yeah, and like I said, just it's going to be a little bit rough. So appreciate all of you and all of what you do, and hang in there. So since it is St. Patrick's Day, I thought it might be just good to kind of talk a little about St. Patrick for a minute, because it's his day. Patron saint of Ireland, wasn't Irish. He was English, probably. He may have even been Scottish. Some suggest that that's what he actually was, which would suit me just fine. So anyway, when you think about the patron saint of Ireland, just remember he wasn't Irish. He probably was born sometime in the middle of the 5th century. Came from a somewhat well-to-do, that may be a little exaggeration, but a family of some substance. At 16, he was kidnapped by Irish pirates, which I don't know what an Irish pirate, how it differs from a non-Irish pirate, maybe a little drunker. But anyway, he got kidnapped by Irish pirates, went to work in taking care of livestock, basically. For about 6 years, had a dream that said he needed to get out of there. So he did. He went to the coast. He talked someone into letting them go on their boat, and they crossed over to Britain, and eventually got back to his family. Was there for a while. There's some thought that he may have gone to the continent to study. Not a whole lot of evidence of that, but and not sure how much education he has. There are places where he talks about not being terribly deeply educated, but again, most of this speculation. Most of what we know about him is either from legends or the book he wrote, his Confessions. So anyway, piecing a lot of that together. So, anyways, back in England, has another dream where he hears, quote, the voices of the Irish in his dream, and they are asking him to come back to Ireland to Christianize them. And so he decides to become a missionary and is incredibly successful. Ireland was a fairly wild place at that time, and so they were what we would call pagans. They had various religious beliefs that weren't Christian, and he seems to have done a pretty good job of convincing them to become Christian. Wasn't it was a dangerous job. He could have been killed many, many times, but converted chiefs, converted wealthy women, converted all sorts of people, and it took hold. Ireland's been Christian ever since, and only stopped a few years ago. Just kidding. And what we usually think about St. Patrick, you know, besides the Shamrock Shake, there's various legends that go along with him. The one big one that he drove the snakes out of Ireland, which I guess depending on how you feel about snakes is either a good or a bad thing. But supposedly, drove them into the sea, sort of kind of like the Pied Piper, with snakes, not rats. The other one, big one, as I mentioned briefly, the Shamrock, where he used that to describe the Trinity, how God could be one God, three persons. So anyway, the three leaves on the Shamrock, but one Shamrock, which I don't know if it's the best. I mean, it kind of makes more like God has three heads, but like if it worked, it worked. Good for him. And one other legend that I just looked up, he's said to have raised 33 people from the dead, some who'd been dead a while. So that's pretty cool too. So anyway, that's Patrick. And so if you're going to have a Guinness tonight or dye your beard green, guess you can do that. But anyway, thanks so much, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. God bless.